Be honest right now, man. How does it feel knowing that there are people out there more successful than you because you're not even able to stay disciplined with eating clean foods and working out consistently? Honestly, in my opinion, this should fucking terrorize you as a man. And in fact, if you're somebody that regularly feels anxious or potentially even feels a bit depressed, this is literally your body's way of telling you that, look, bud, you need to sort something out right now. You need to improve your life and change something. So let's talk about the ways in which you can do that right now. So my first suggestion is going to be to supercharge your diet. And you can do this as soon as possible by downloading my free diet plan in the description. This is going to help you to implement all of the healthy foods that you need to boost your testosterone and improve your aesthetic appearance. And the best thing about it is that you can actually adjust the calories yourself so that you can obviously hit your own goals, because everybody's different. Some people want to gain some size, some people want to lose some size, and you're able to do that with this diet plan because it's extremely versatile. Now, when it came to self-improvement as a whole for me, I used to think that going to the gym was sufficient. I was completely under the impression that this was enough for me to stand out, but honestly, I couldn't have been more wrong. There's so much more to it than that, because going to the gym didn't teach me how to control the thoughts that was going through my mind. It didn't teach me to know how to stay present and know how to socialize with people properly. And so I still felt anxious. I still had limiting beliefs. My confidence improved quite a lot, of course, but there were many more problems that needed to be solved as, part of this puzzle, if you like, which for the most part, I feel like I have found a pretty good solution for now. So let me just share this with you right now as well. So the first thing that you want to be doing to improve yourself right now is by taking control of your thought production. Your brain acts like a factory, okay? It constantly produces thoughts, and you are the manufacturer. You have control over the thoughts that your factory or brain produces. But you need to be active, because if you're not active with this and you just let your brain run on autopilot, then it's more than likely that your brain is going to start to produce negative thoughts. And that's because we are, as humans, attracted to the negative things. That's just kind of the way it works. Notice how on the news everything is negative. That's because our attention is drawn to negativity. That's kind of just the way it works. So you need to be active in producing positive thoughts and thoughts that fill you with self-belief. You need to lead the workers that are in your factory, if you like. And the way that I would suggest you do that is actually by doing an entire factory reset. I've found a really good method to actually completely change your mind in, I'd say, about 30 minutes, from being entirely negative and anxious to feeling like you can take on the world. And it's not bullshit, but it does take a little bit of practice. It does take a little bit of consistency to, get it to a stage where you actually feel incredible. And to do this factory reset, it requires 3 different things, 3 different activities, which are going to be 10 minutes each. The first thing you want to be doing is brain dumping. And I've spoken about this before, but brain dumping is essentially a version of journaling. You're just going to write down all of the thoughts, all of the negativity that's in your head, and you're going to write it down into a journal or onto a piece of paper or whatever. You're just trying to get all of the thoughts out of your head so that you can see them for what they really are. You can see this negativity for what it really is. It's not truth, they're just thoughts, and you need to be able to see them for that. And once you've done that activity, you're going to move on to the next activity, and that activity is to meditate. Okay, and you can do this however you like. You can be sat down in your room on your own, or you can go for a walk outside in nature. But essentially what you want to be doing during this time is calming your mind. You want to be taking your mind from racing with all these thoughts in your head to just being calm and present. And the best way to do that is to use your breath as an anchor. And by that, I mean, if you focus on your breath, it's going to bring you right down to the present moment. You're not going to be thinking about the future. You're not going to be regretting the past. You're just going to be thinking about the breath and the present moment. And the best way that I would suggest you do that is that you focus and you actually feel the sensation of the breath entering your nostrils. So if you really focus about the sensation of the breath going into your nostrils, you'll be entirely present. Of course, your mind naturally is going to wander and it's going to start to have thoughts, but don't get uncomfortable. Don't get annoyed about this. You have to just hone in back to the present moment and remember that your focus is on the breath. And you're going to keep doing this. Remember, this is a skill, so you need to get better at it. You need to do it consistently. And for the third activity that I'd suggest you do is positive affirmations. Okay, so you're going to do it all at once, right? You're going to do activity 1, activity 2, activity 3. First activity, brain dumping. Straight after that, you're going to do 10 minutes of meditation. And then the third activity is that you're going to do positive affirmations. And essentially what positive affirmations are you being actively active in telling yourself positive things. So essentially what you can do, a good way to tell yourself positive things that are going to make you feel empowered, is to actually use all of the negative comments that you wrote down in the brain dump. And what you're going to do is convert that negativity into positive statements. And then once you read this off and you look at yourself in the mirror, because that's what you want to be doing, you want to be reading these positive comments off into a mirror. You could say things like, I am confident, I am wealthy, I am in charge of my life. It sounds a little bit cringy or whatever, but when you do this consistently, you're actually going to start to feel like a fucking absolute machine. Like it's such a powerful thing to do, and all the successful people in the world are doing this. So you have to get into a habit of doing this as well. Now, the second thing as a whole that I'd suggest you do is that you don't just tell it all to yourself. You don't just feed yourself information. You actually show it to yourself as well. You need to prove to yourself that you have what it takes to put in the work. You don't need to show anybody else, you just need to show it to yourself. And the reason for this is because it will increase your self-perception. And if you increase your self-perception, you're going to increase your self-respect. And if you increase your self-respect, you're going to increase your self-confidence. And if you increase your self-confidence, you're going to adapt this winner's mentality, because not only do you think you can do it, but you've shown yourself that you can do it, and you show yourself on a regular basis that you can do it. And the best way to kind of keep on track of this and prove to yourself that you're doing this consistently and that you're showing yourself that you're able to achieve the best things, the best habits consistently, is by using a habit tracker. And essentially what this is you'll write down a load of habits on a piece of paper, you'll stick this piece of paper up on the wall, and for every single day that you achieve that habit, you just do a little tick, right? Or a check, or whatever you want to call it. And this will show you how consistent you've been with these habits, and you'll actually be able to praise yourself and know that, mate, I fucking did that shit. And that's going to feel insane. I'm telling you, when you've done it for 10 days in a row or whatever it is, and you've been consistent with it, you're going to feel amazing. This is going to literally improve your mindset. And if you improve your mindset, everything else in your life will improve. This is how you immediately improve your life. It's all in the mind. And with that being said, I'm going to move on to the third step of this, and that is to learn from other people's mistakes. You might have heard this quote before, and it is that a wise man learns from his mistakes, but a wiser man learns from the mistakes of others. And how can you do this exactly? How can you learn from the mistakes of others? It's pretty simple, my friend. You read books, or you buy courses, or you watch YouTube videos. I would say the first two are what people tend not to do. They tend to go for the YouTube videos, and don't get me wrong, YouTube videos are amazing. But if you really want that extra support and you really want that extra value, I'd highly suggest that you do the first two things. And two books that I'd highly recommend that absolutely changed my life and my social skills and my ability to improve relationships with both men and women has been The 3% Man and How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I can tell you the honest truth, these books completely destroyed my ego, because I seriously thought that I had everything. I thought I knew exactly how to communicate with people. I thought I knew exactly how to develop relationships, but I really didn't. Like, my ego was destroyed when I read this, and I learned so much about myself and how to improve myself. And that's because I was learning from these people's mistakes. You know, they dedicated their entire lives to writing these books, and they put in so much research, and they experienced so much for themselves that I didn't even need to experience that shit, because I could just read from them and learn from them and see exactly what mistakes they made. And then I just take all of their best pieces of information and apply it to my own life. Like, how empowering is that? And how often are you reading books? Like, probably not at all, right? And what's so interesting is, like, in countries, I'm pretty sure in like North Korea, they've actually banned books. You can't buy books. because there's so much valuable information in them. They want to keep you at a certain level. They don't want you to have all this knowledge, because if you have all this knowledge, you're a threat. They want to keep you at a low level. So trust me when I say this, start reading books. You have to take that more seriously, man. Another thing that I'd suggest you do is, of course, you go and buy some courses. Maybe there's someone online that you really trust. Maybe there's someone that you can resonate with and you feel like they could offer you some more support. You have to invest in yourself. And you might be thinking, oh, I don't need to pay. Well, in that case, why do they charge for university courses? Why do they charge to pass exams? Why do they charge for apprenticeships? It's because they're teaching you knowledge, and they know that this knowledge is going to be worthwhile. It's going to be worth your time. Of course, you have to do your research. You're not just going to randomly invest into somebody's program. You have to know that you resonate with somebody. And actually, that's what I did. I mean, for YouTube, for example, I wanted to make sure that I was marketing myself properly and that I was able to communicate with you properly. And to do that, I invested in a course myself. And honestly, it was fucking amazing. Like, I'm actually still a part of it, and there's a bit of a community that I'm a part of, and every single time I enter that community, I learn something new. I learn from somebody else's mistakes, and I can tell you now, it's been arguably the best investment I've ever made in my life. I realized why it was so important to actually do this. Now, I'm not telling you that, you need to buy my program or that you need to invest in my program. Obviously, I do have a program that I think I could help you with immensely, but you want to make sure that you are investing in somebody, right, that you truly, truly trust. And that could be anybody on YouTube, right? And I'd really suggest that you go and do that if you want to speed ramp this whole improvement thing. If you want an actual cheat code to being the best person that you possibly can be. Obviously, you can get information online for free. You could learn how to build a mansion on YouTube, couldn't you? But it would be so much better if you invested it in yourself and you actually had a mentor to help guide you and like literally be with you whilst you built that mansion, because they would show you in person how to do it. The mansion would be so much more stable. You'd be able to build it so much quicker, and you'd have the confidence that you've built the mansion correctly, and that it's not going to blow down when the wolf blows and huffs and puffs, right? So that's really something to consider. Now, if you feel like you can trust me and you feel like you could learn from me, then, it would be absolutely my pleasure to help you along that journey. As I said, I don't want you to just feel any kind of pressure. Like I'm literally telling you, just buy somebody else's course or whatever, or invest into somebody else's course. But if you do feel like you'd like some more information from me, then as I said, I would gladly support you, and I can help you to do a number of things. I can help you to drastically improve your aesthetic appearance and increase your muscle mass. I can help you to gain more confidence in yourself and in social situations, so that you can freely and comfortably communicate with women, and men. You want to make a good brotherhood. You want to be able to socialize with other men and be able to learn, right, from them. And in saying that, I can also help you to link up with other guys that are going through very similar problems to you. So if you want more information on any of that, then click the link in the description below. I hope you found this video useful. Believe you can, my friend, and you're more than halfway there. Boom.